welcome back to another episode of TBD Crafts with Gabriel. I, of course, am Gabriel, and today we're going to be working on this figure. It is the Star Wars Black Series Jango Fett Gamer Edition. Now, if you have this figure, you know what's up. First of all, we are in dire need of a new Jango Fett mold. This one was okay for the time, but it needs an upgrade. For starters, it's very off in the proportions. It doesn't articulate super well. The arms only go up so high, and the only thing I'm keeping from this figure for the upgrade is the blasters and the holsters. So you can see arms just don't move very much. I think one of my hoses is broken at this point, so I'm gonna have to make a new one. Even the feet, they're rounded. He doesn't stand very well. He likes to fall over. Of course, since the camera's on, he's gonna stay standing. But in the past, whenever I'd knock a shelf or move a piece of furniture, whatever he was standing on, he'd fall over like it was nothing. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade this figure. But first, we're going to go ahead and take this holster off. I'm going to apply some heat with this hair dryer so I can soften up that plastic and pop those legs off right at the thigh swivel. And with that, the holster slides right off. Now for our donor figure, we're going to use this Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. This is the second Boba Fett I have. The first one I used for a previous Mandalorian custom, and here you can see I have the upper torso for Boba Fett. I went ahead and popped the holster on just to see if it would cover those red ropes that he has on his waist to test it out, and I mean it covers it pretty well, so we're just gonna go ahead and go with that. Anyway, now that I know that the holster fits right, we're going to go ahead and move on to customizing. But first, I wanted to also mention that the legs, what we're going to be doing for the legs here. So as you can see, I have some spare Boba Fett legs as well. We're going to go ahead and grind off the pockets on the shin and the thighs and replace that with some custom armor pieces, as well as the spikes on the toes. I'm going to get those off too. Now, I started sanding with this little stick and some sandpaper. However, I quickly gave up on that tactic and took it outside and took my Dremel to it. Of course, whenever you're using tools like that, make sure you wear eye protection, ear protection, respirator, all that stuff. You don't want any of those microplastics in your eyes, ears, nose, or mouth. Now I'm going to use this two-part epoxy putty. It's called Milliput. I cut out some templates with polystyrene sheets, and I'm going to mix up this air drying putty so I can make some armor. As you can see here on this thigh, I had already tested it out. Works pretty well, so we're going to go ahead and do it on the other side. And here, of course, I'm also using some Milliput to fill in those dents as best as I can. Moving on to painting, I primed everything in black, followed by a gray. The vest stays gray, obviously, and because all the other armor pieces need to match, I went ahead and painted those gray too, so the silver doesn't have a different hue. I did paint the helmet off camera, mainly because I forgot to hit the record button, and I'm a dingus, but I did go ahead and hand paint the chest piece, the back piece, and the shoulders as well, and I airbrushed the rest of the pieces. They turned out pretty nice. I went ahead and masked off the hoses so that they stayed their original color. I did go ahead and paint those black later on. That was off camera as well. Turned out pretty nice. Went ahead and gave them a clear coat on top to help protect them. I did also forget to paint the cod piece, but that's no big deal. Just go ahead and paint that gray, followed by the titanium silver, along with the rest of the armor in a clear coat to help protect it. Now for the flight suit, I went ahead and created my own shade. I couldn't find a shade of paint that I liked, but I also didn't like the lavender shade that Hasbro used to mold the figure in the first place. So I went ahead and used this Tamiya X16 purple, as well as a Tamiya XF18 medium blue. And I tried mixing those two up first to see if I can get a nice shade. I ended up mixing some X4 blue as well into it. I couldn't tell you how many drops of each I used though. I did fill one of those little glass containers that are in the left hand side with the paint just in case of scratching in the future, so I wouldn't have to worry about that, so I could always touch up the figure afterwards as well. After mixing up a shade of purple that I liked for the bodysuit, I went ahead and laid the pieces out, gave them a good look, touched up anything that needed to be touched up, and using my hair dryer, not hot water, use the hair dryer, I was able to put them back together. The reason why is because putting them back in hot water could damage the paint, separating it from the plastic. But it was easy enough just to put them back together, give them a good look. I did sculpt hair onto the Boba Fett head sculpt that was underneath this helmet originally, but I ended up not painting it yet because I wanted to do something special later on. But that's enough for this video, and it's on to the glamour shots. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed making this video and also creating this custom Jango Fett. Now I know he's not 100% accurate. The keen-eyed among you will notice that he still has dents in his chest plates and a dent on his helmet. He does get a dent on his helmet technically in episode 2, so that's why I left that one there. And with his chest plate, I figured, you know what, Jango's been doing this a lot longer than Boba Fett, so it was bound to have dings and dents and scratches and scrapes on the armor when Boba Fett did eventually inherit the armor and start wearing it for himself. So it was a creative liberty, but I hope it doesn't offend any of you too much. Now, of course, remember to comment down below, do you like my creative liberty? Like, hit the unlike button, leave some feedback. Any feedback is good feedback. So please subscribe so you can stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you on the next one.